You're listening to DraftKings Network.
There was a time when summer surprised us, when galleries opened minds, adventures opened hearts, and we all remained open to whatever the day might offer. It was a time to enjoy. It was summer, this summer, at Biltmore. Plan your visit or overnight stay so you can enjoy the marvelous works of Chihuly and savor the season. Reserve now at Biltmore.com.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz Podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Good morning. Yesterday's show was pretty awesome. I would like to say, Pablo, fantastic host.
Why are you not sitting in Dan's chair?
You are sitting.
Yeah. I am sitting in Stugatz's chair. Domonique, his genitals are just hovering.
Why are you looking at me?
His shorts are so tight.
Yeah, they look good, right? You got to show them quads, baby.
His shorts match his socks and his shoes and his T-shirt. It is a great look.
You like it?
I actually love it. I'm just happy your leg is down.
We want Domonique to do a standing desk show the entire time.
Before we digress into foolishness, I would like to say, Cooper Flagg, am I right? That boy was cooking.
You have a crush? You have a crush on Cooper Flagg?
My brother-in-law introduced me to Cooper Flagg about 2.5 years ago on social media. And I was so impressed because he was tall and athletic. But I did not expect him at 17 years old to be on the select team giving work to the modern-day dream team. Look at these highlights of Cooper Flagg.
You're gonna narrate all of this Cooper Flagg description without naming some relevant characteristics that make him actually a story that's really worth discussing.
I don't know. The only story that's worth discussing is he's a 17-year-old boy, and he was, by some people's account, the best player in the USA select team versus the USA Olympic team game yesterday, where they only lost by 1, and Cooper was clearly dominant at 17 years old, being defended by Drew Holiday. Get it out the net.
To become a man at 18? So he's a 17-year-old boy, but you can be in the NBA and be up at 18, and then you're a man.
Yeah. That's really, it seems like you're asking a question. Like,
it's a hell of a transition.
It's the law. Yeah, you're 17.
Just because you have rights when you turn 18, I don't view that as you're ready to.
We can call him a man, a 17-year-old man. The point is, he is incredible, and that's all that matters.
So the U.S. Olympic team, this one, as I gushed about yesterday, is like actually vibratingly impressive. Everyone who's on this,
hell yeah,
super impressive. Love it. Chris? Hell yeah.
He's sneaky athletic to me, Cooper Flagg.
No.
Based on one game,
on you.
You guys saw one set of highlights. You guys are couch scouts.
Did you not hear? I said I've been watching him since about 2.5 years ago, and I believe that Chris believes he's sneaky athletic because he's like 6'10", which like you're not supposed to be that athletic.
Also white.
Oh, huh? What?
Sounds creepy when you say you've been watching 15-year-olds on YouTube.
Fair point. I'm here today. Pablo's sitting in the other chair. We got my buddy David Sampson. David and I had an argument last night at dinner. Pablo violated us a number of times at dinner last night.
Fair.
There were a lot of things that happened at dinner last night. We'll get to those at some point, but back to my man Cooper Flagg.
Can Kravitz weigh in? Kravitz is also here.
About Cooper?
He's got a weird jump shot.
Don't do the self-hate. Don't be harder on him.
I have so much in common with Cooper Flagg, athletically and physically.
Charlie
Kravitz. I get what you're saying. However, JuJu's in the middle, guys. Charlie Kravitz, you guys know him. He's my producer and co-host on my show, just so everyone knows who is not watching on YouTube live right now.
David Sampson called Charlie your safety blanket yesterday.
Shout out. He's vanilla snack. That's what the people on the snow call him.
Okay, thank you.
People on the show, so first time. So Charlie's been kind of...
He's Justin Timberfake.
Yeah, he's been a producer for a while, and people would know him. And when you and I did a show together, people saw his hands, but never his face. So people knew of him, but didn't know what he looked like. So the first time he came on the show, social media did got a little excited about how he was handsomer than they expected. So someone called him the vanilla snack on Twitter. So it's stuck. And then someone else called him sugar cookie. These are things that.
But why is he here?
Because he's my dog. What you mean? You don't ride with your dogs? All right.
David, that was
dogless.
mean. Why is he here?
David Sampson is dogless.
I am dogless.
No dog.
I love that JuJu's here. I haven't seen JuJu since his birthday. And we both agreed that birthdays they're for relaxing now.
Right.
We're past the point.
Right. A lot of salute to everyone who wished me happy birthday. Thank you so much. I'm getting back to the messages. And also salute to all the brothers who reached out during Men's Mental Health Month. Brothers, I got like hundreds of messages, so I'm getting to them. I did not forget about you guys. I got y'all in my heart for sure.
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore. This is my new thing. I think every day. I don't like when it's just that month.
We're going to just clip that part. The way you said.
You can clip whatever you want, but the theory is this, like Father's Day or Mother's Day. I don't agree with it. You should be a good father every day. You should be recognized as being a good father every day, or a good mother, or anniversary. You're just nice to your wife on your anniversary, or you just think about people's mental health during Mental Health Month.
Any thoughts on Black History Month?
Yeah. Right. Black History Month. Why is that?
Oh, I don't think he was agreeing with
Clip
you.
that as well.
Wait, why shouldn't we be dealing and recognizing that every day?
See,
you're right about that part.
I should.
Let's have Christmas every day.
It feels like I have to explain so many things to you. I just want to talk about how nasty Cooper Flagg is. That's all I want to talk about.
You want to celebrate White History Month?
Like the reason why
is that every month?
We'll get back to Cooper Flagg. I will help you out once again, as I did yesterday, teaching you something new in every segment. Like the point.
Right. I'm going to take notes.
You should.
Okay, I'm ready.
The point is because these things are not acknowledged. That's why you have these special. It's more likely to they aren't.
David
point of having Black History Month.
David is writing down. Don't say that we should eliminate Black History Month.
The point of having a Mother's Day and Father's Day is because yes, maybe you're right. Every day you should appreciate and celebrate, but people don't. That's the point.
So you need a Hallmark holiday to appreciate your mom?
To remind you that you should say yes.
You think you're on the right side of this? Am I really on am I so out of it that I'm on the wrong side?
Well, David,
of
it's
this?
like the easiest stance ever. Like what you're doing. It's like Hulk Hogan cupping his hand to his. Yes.
But no one does
nice
it
to moms every day. We should
I do
pay the teachers every day.
Pay the teachers.
Did you see that step back? Ooh, the dream shake on the baseline. Cooper is nasty.
Do you think he'll make the NBA?
Are you?
For sure.
Okay, number one. Can I have a thought? Can I do this? Is this okay? I'm so sorry for everybody.
You guys are done.
David Sampson.
Something, man.
I'm so sorry, big brother. That might be a penalty box move. I'm not sure the authority of when Dan
JuJu does have a tiny Larry O'Brien trophy, which I think gives him the capacity to
feel me?
Penalize
18.
David Sampson.
You don't think that there's a road that he still has to go through?
No.
So, okay, I happen to
if he was eligible for the draft today.
Players,
okay, you said make the NBA. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? Maybe not. But is he going to make the NBA?
Are you wishing a catastrophic injury upon Cooper?
No, I'm saying that premature celebration I've never been a big fan of.
You just said you wanted to celebrate everything all the time.
Exactly.
The whole thing is the celebration is not premature.
This is like Caitlin Clark's celebration going #1 to Indiana in February.
This is not a premature celebration. I'm celebrating how well he played in these games this weekend. It's shocking to me. You don't think it's impressive? The same way that yesterday you said it's not impressive that Joey Chestnut drank a gallon of milk in 13 seconds because it was 2% milk. You're trying to pretend like him cooking the best team ever assembled is not impressive. They lost by 1 point because AD got a block. It's impressive. He's 17 years old, Mr. Sampson. It's impressive.
You think they were firing on all cylinders, the Olympic team, like this was a NBA Finals type game?
Where's the penalty box
David
button?
Sampson is trying to take Cooper Flagg's pension now.
That's a nice callback.
Let's just be happy for him. He's all right. I will indulge. I'm Chris. He's white. That's also pretty cool.
If you couldn't tell by the name Cooper Flagg,
I have a theory that I want to roll out to you
that
guys
he was
a little bit.
created in an algorithm for the whitest names possible.
I think that Cooper Flagg is from Maine.
Of course he is.
No way.
Celtics fan, by the way.
Shout out Celtics in Maine and Cooper Flagg. I think it's possible that Cooper Flagg would not be a great basketball player if he was born in a state. It's not quite like Maine. Maybe the state that I'm from. If he was born in Maryland, that boy would have been a lacrosse player or a pitcher or something else. They'd have found him and said, oh, stop dribbling that thing. Get over here and see how this little white ball feels to you.
You think he doesn't play baseball?
That's a fair point. But he would not have been allowed to mature into the great basketball player that he is because of the inherent racism in the way that we scout athletes. The same reason why we don't got no white corners. There's a corner I've been on for a long time, pun not intended, that there are plenty of little white slot receivers that could play corner, but they don't get the chance because coaches are a little bit racist, as we all are a little bit racist.
But at 6'8", they're going to put him on a basketball court somewhere. You don't think?
I think.
But would they let him handle the ball? Like the thing about Cooper Flagg is I want vanilla snack. What?
Okay, never. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the reason why Cooper Flagg is the projected number 1 overall pick in next year's draft, and the reason he would have been the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft, is because he has one of these futuristic all-around skill sets.
Right.
That is a function of being able to handle the ball, shoot the ball, dunk the ball. I don't know how good he is defensively.
He's a freak athlete. He's going to block so many shots in college next year.
But like White Wemby, that is the promise of Cooper Flagg.
More fluid Jason Tatum.
Yeah, he's not
about to say White Wemby was rich.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's too far.
Yeah, he's not that tall.
That's the promise
but I think
of
Jason.
him.
Well, I mean, he's not going to turn it out to be 7'5". But yeah, I think Jason Tatum's probably more accurate. Seeing him next to Jason Tatum, he's about the same size already and has a lot of the same moves aside from the 2-part jump shot.
Isn't it funny though that the kid is 7 feet tall and is like, that's a little small?
It's not. He's a little small. I said he was 6'10".
And he hasn't done anything yet.
We let you stay.
Do we have the David Sampson clip that I called for earlier?
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore.
What's the jurisdiction on his penalty box?
I know.
Can we send his ass over?
Seriously, Pablo. I think that's really what you're going to cut.
I think the tribe has spoken.
We've got a minor penalty for derailing.
Come on. Chop.
I'm going.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Nice legs, though, brother. Very nice legs.
Hey, JuJu. Thank you, man. I had forgotten that I had that authority. I appreciate it.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike. I'm headed to Chicago, get a nice little dose of summertime shy, and I've never actually been to Wrigley Field, but I'm going this week, and I cannot wait. And for anybody that wants to join me out at Wrigley Field and experience Chicago baseball and summertime shy, why don't you download the Game Time app right now? Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace for Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on Game Time actually go down the closer you get to first pitch with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat. I love those panoramic views from my seat. And their lowest price guarantee. Game Time actually takes the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets. So do that. Join me. I'll see you out there, summertime shy. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use the code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Dan Le Batard.
We love you. We've got you. We've all got each other. Let's go right now.
Stugats.
1, 2, 3, Brett. 1, 2, 3, Brett.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
So, I dare you guys. Let's go through a list of greatest American white basketball players. I want to know where they all from. Because I don't think you're going to find one from Atlanta. I don't think you're going to find one from D.C. It ain't happening. I'm telling you.
Where is Chet Holmgren from?
Minnesota.
Boom. Give it to him.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Larry Bird, French Lick, Indiana.
Give it to him.
Jerry West, rural West Virginia.
Tell him snack. Tell him snack.
Kevin McHale, Minnesota.
Bop, 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 bop.
That's about it. Bill
Dirk
Walton.
Nowitzki, Germany.
Yeah. Give it to him. What about Luka? Slovenia.
Tyler Hero.
Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Damn, this is a good theory.
Stockton, Spokane, Washington.
Woo!
Jokic, Serbia. Serbia.
Serbia?
Sorry. I made it a Z.
Oh man, are you thinking about the tennis guy?
Yeah.
Zverev? Is that what you're thinking about?
That guy's a jerk.
Yeah, he is a jerk.
Did y'all see Sarek and Zubac get into it yesterday? I think Sarek got put in the dope fiend.
Can you explain that fight for people who did not see that video out of, I believe, Greece? Was Greece where that happened?
Right. It looked like a Vegas-style club, but they got it. It started right into the action, so you just see him tussling with somebody. Then you pan over, and Sarek's just on the ground laid out until a nice brother let him up.
There it is. We got
just
the
some
video.
some giant whites tussling.
It's so long. I don't know how you cannot... Like, how you can be a bad fighter at that size. Like, you got the reach, you got the strength and endurance, but I guess maybe you get outnumbered.
Not a lot of practice, too, because no one's going at you.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Alex Caruso?
Oh, you're on this like a dog with a bone, huh?
I'm testing the sociology that we're proposing on this show.
They're probably...
College Station, Texas.
Damn. Damn. He does that Aggie dance? Yeah, that's...
I mean, we have to... Now I feel like I want to go the other way. We have to find... There has to be
Who
like
is
some...
the best white American player from the blackest place?
A major metropolitan area, I guess I would
Bob
say.
Cousy.
The Coos?
Your high school, Pablo, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, he's from Manhattan.
He's from Manhattan?
Yeah,
the Coos?
The Coos is from Manhattan. Chris Mullen, also a New York guy.
Chris Mullen. Yeah, Chris Mullen, if you listen to Chris Mullen, it does sound like he was the process of a cultural exchange very early, actually.
I think, yeah, Chris Mullen, that's impressive. Bob Cousy, like, I don't know. There might have been some other factors involved.
Cross College, Andrew Jackson High School.
Gotta respect the Coos, man.
The last white guy from Atlanta, Jim Fox. He was a 6'10" player from Atlanta, Georgia, and he went to high school in Barnesville, Georgia. Salute to Gordon College.
Wow.
Imagine what it was like to be Cooper Flagg in Maine growing up. I imagine that he was regarded like a god.
Yeah, have you seen Jesus Shuttlesworth visit Rick Fox's school in He Got Game?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening.
Loving basketball on my t-shirt today.
But I do think Cooper Flagg, when he gets to the NBA, is going to be he is the answer to a question which has been plaguing the NBA from a marketing perspective for a really long time, which is where the hell did all of our white American boys go? Now they
Can we
have
cut that clip?
God damn it.
I don't know that it's hurt the NBA from a marketing standpoint.
What?
I don't. I mean, I think...
How are you more optimistic about this than I am? I don't know that this has been a massive vacuum when it comes to how the NBA sells itself since Larry Bird.
Yeah, and I guess maybe that's why I don't see it as an issue, because I didn't grow up in a world where it mattered. As long as you had, and maybe there's different rules when it comes to like xenophobic views of it, but as long as you had an American star that was doing incredible things.
Serbian xenophobia. Damn it.
The American public would love it. So like the heyday of the NBA, we think about like Jordan, and like, yeah, there was not like a real Stockton hive out there. Like there's just not something that we ever felt like we needed. And maybe with the like globalization of basketball, we'll get to a point where we don't feel like we even need an American star to be fans of this game. But I don't think that there's like an absence, or we feel an absence of a white American basketball star.
I think what we're going to get is not exactly by any means what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA, but I think it's going to be its own iteration of it. Because I'm just far more bullish on the idea of I think the biggest counter-argument, Domonique, to why is Cooper Flagg not going to be a sensation fully realized as the white American star is simply because he is a giant. And I wonder if like that's too tall actually in terms of relatability. But other than that, the dude is going to be this messianic figure for I think a lot of people in the way that Caitlin Clark was at a lighter level.
What if he's Sean Bradley?
Here we go. Where the button? Goodness gracious.
What?
I'm willing to bet you $1 American that he will not be Sean Bradley.
Yeah, I think that So sometimes it's tough when we try to analogize different sports because there's a lot of different contexts in it that I think matters a lot more. The WNBA size and also like the history of the WNBA is very different than the NBA. It's going to be hard for Cooper Flagg to become the same type of figure, and he's not going to represent that same thing. So while I do recognize, and I'm sure that Chris is probably an example that could speak to this, or I could speak to it myself also, when you have someone who looks like you doing something in a sport or in any industry where there aren't many people like that, like I became a Tiger Woods fan.
Great Asian American athlete, Tiger Woods.
Both of us, we can high five over that. I never watched the golf before that, but I became a fan. So I suspect that there will be some of that with Cooper Flagg, but I don't think it'll be nearly on the Caitlin Clark's level, and it won't be the main story. Like, no one's going to care.
The main story. It will be the main story.
And then,
I think Caitlin Clark is obviously going to be an order of magnitude greater than Cooper Flagg. I just think when Chris says Zerbia, it reminds me of how it's remarkable that the foreign white guy does not read as one of them being Chris, I guess, broadly speaking. I think that's just
one mistake.
I think that's been a noted sociological phenomenon, that there's a foreignness to the former, to the Baltic state, Balkans, and the Baltics. What are you chuckling about?
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore.
That's funny.
That's what I'm chuckling about. That is where we've gotten to from this entire morning. When Domonique starts, you understand that we're all off our game when we're looking at his sack in the 4 minutes leading up to the start of the show.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, it's your choice. Your
Gets me
eyes,
ready.
Your eyes, your choice, buddy. Like,
I was trying to be protective of you.
Oh, my sack don't need protection. I'm good, baby. We're fine.
It for sure needs protection.
LeBron James said that Bronny does not give a F about the criticism. What do you guys think of that? Is that a malarkey, or is it?
Would you know your son well enough to say that? I have a son, and I would not be willing to say what he is sensitive to and what he's not sensitive to.
I believe nobody resembles that description. The idea that he doesn't care about anything anyone says is not true of literally anybody that I've ever met, heard of, known, read about, experienced.
Except Bronny.
I think LeBron's doing a lot.
Yeah.
I think LeBron... What was actually most fascinating...
I would say it's unlikely. However, none of us can say that we've had the experience that Bronny has had. It's different. You probably feel differently about criticism if from the day you were born, your father and your family has been under a particular spotlight. So if it's possible, someone who was born in that darkness might be comfortable in that darkness more so than the rest of us. I think it's hugely unlikely, but that's the argument for it.
But it's also him speaking for Bronny yet again while saying Bronny's his own person.
I thought the most fascinating part about that quote was actually LeBron kind of admitting to something that lots of us who've covered LeBron or just been around sports media have known, which is that LeBron is the opposite. LeBron basically said in that same quote, I'm somebody who does listen. I'm somebody who does care what people say. When I was coming up, to Domonique's point, as the first of his kind, he was litigating with the press, was managing his reputation from the very beginning.
He was the next of his kind. I don't like that we always say this is the first of his kind.
No, because I think it's the internet era that is the thing that certainly separates, and the sports TV 24/7 aspect of it, David, that separates Michael from LeBron. And I think the question then is, like, how different is the world that Bronny has entered from a media perspective than the world that LeBron entered and dominated?
He was on the cover of your magazine. I think it was under the Chosen One when he was, how old was he, 16?
For those who don't know LeBron James, he was Cooper Flagg before Cooper Flagg.
He was a black Cooper Flagg.
What kind of flag?
You're telling me that Cooper Flagg is the next? This is what the scouting report is? All right, I guess I'm wrong. He's the next LeBron James.
He's not the next LeBron James, but he's been kind of picked as the obvious number one for a number of years now. He's a guy that's good enough to tank for. Like, he's going to be really good.
There's tanking for Cooper happening.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Even though you can't tank for the number one pick anymore.
Poop for Coop.
You can poop for Coop. You can get a higher percentage. Like,
that's it.
Yeah, which is still
he's probably a Durant or Anthony Davis level prospect going into college basketball as an earnest take of how good he is.
I just think that Bronny James grows up He chooses to play basketball. He's good at it. He's a college player. He's drafted. He understands the business of pressure. I just think that he doesn't want his father to talk to him for him anymore. And I noticed it during the opening press conference. I noticed it again yesterday. At some point, you say to your dad, all right, I got this now.
Agreed. He's not at that point yet. I mean, I don't think that there will come a point when I think everyone has to kind of fully be their own man. And for most kids, it's not after their freshman year of college. So, like, get off of everybody's back, Samson.
But isn't LeBron just making it worse by continuing to make this a story? Like, just stop talking about Bronny and people will forget about it, the way the news cycle works.
You should just say what David Sampson said.
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore.
Impeccable.
Howdy, y'all, it's Mike, and since the dawn of mankind, we've cooked our food over an open flame and debated the best way to grill. One thing that is not up for debate: grilling and beer always go together. Even I know that, and I'm not the manliest American type, but I know that if I'm grilling out there, I need a Miller Lite in my hand. Why? Because Miller Lite keeps it simple, undebatable quality, and it tastes as great as my barbecue. It's a beer that strips away everything that I don't need and holds on to what matters most: the light beer with the most taste. Less filling and only 96 calories. Nothing says summer like a Miller Lite. It's the original light beer since 1975 and a perfect companion for all grill masters or wannabe grill masters across this great land. With a Miller Lite in your hand, grilling doesn't just taste great, tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces.
Don Le Batard.
In terms of Heat fans, you're the most irrational of us right now. What's the pivot?
Oh, irrational.
Stugats.
Did you not hear your voice there? Your voice. If I were making a cartoon thing that was meant to symbolize irrational, that's the voice I would give
Entire
it.
premise.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
Got a little surprise from my man, Pablo.
Where the hell did all of our white American boys go?
I'll tell you. They're in the quarters of Wimbledon.
Wow, what a professional segue as Kravitz and Domonique celebrate.
So we got two guys in the quarterfinals. One of them feels like right now kind of a bit of my man Tommy Paul. I got to be honest with you. I'm a big Carlos Alcaraz fan. He might be one of the most explosive athletes I've seen who's not playing defensive back in the NFL. He's incredible. He's going up against Tommy Paul, and Tommy Paul's an American, and I have to kind of pretend like I want Tommy to win because he's an American. But honestly, at 9:15 or 10 o'clock, whenever this match actually starts, I'm in on Big Los. King Los going to give him the business.
Do you feel that you're not being patriotic if you don't root for the American in that case? I never thought that way. Aren't you rooting if you like Alcaraz, you should want him to win?
I do. That's what I just said.
I was wondering that too, and is there a difference in the Olympics, for example? Like, if you're rooting against America in the Olympics, is that unpatriotic? Yes. Like, is that where the line is? Like, I can root against American athletes in other competitions, but if it's the Olympics, I need to root for my country no matter what. Also, why does Puerto Rico have a team?
Whoa. Put it right there with the Samson quotes. You are on Team Samson.
Damn.
It's a territory.
It's a territory.
But I mean.
So I believe from an Olympic standpoint, the Olympics were a really big thing during the Cold War when you really felt, you want America to win everything because it was an FU to the CCCP. That's that USSR, but now I think it's much less so. I think now that the Cold War is gone for all intents and purposes, I feel less guilty during the Olympics. I wouldn't find it outrageous to root for Giannis if I were a Milwaukeean, which I am, and root for Greece to beat the U.S. in basketball.
I root against Berhalter and them boys. Like, I heard Mike talking, I was like, yeah, I hope they lose to get him up out of here.
Is there
Berhalter or Mike?
It's not Mike. I love you, Mike, wherever you are. You have my heart.
Is there anything that can happen to make you root for? Because I got to be honest, when Usain Bolt was out there riding, like I kind of wanted him to break the records. I kind of wanted him to win. I kind of wanted him to keep being awesome. So like, you weren't rooting for Usain Bolt, or you didn't feel you were rooting for patriotism?
I don't feel it. I was rooting for patriotism.
So you wanted him to lose. You wanted him not to break the world record. You wanted somebody else to get it.
No. I actually didn't think of it in those terms. I'd like seeing records broken for sure.
But this is the most American position, to be so secure in yourself as a country that you don't care about the Olympics in the way these other countries do.
Used to.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that when you talk about, yes, in the Cold War, Russia, the former Soviet Union, cared so deeply about all of this, expressing greatness through sports, that it was your primary way of expressing dominance against your aspirational rivals, the countries you wanted to be on the same level as, such as the United States.
I mean, it still matters. It's like when the Olympics were in China and when the Olympics were in Russia, they made a great point to try to build up these teams.
Yes.
Their entire governments, in many cases, are complicit in doping scandals because they believe that sports and like some personal value and affinity for your country, like it's very much matters
more to them than America.
It's happening now. I mean, look. So to Domonique's point, like if you didn't see Icarus, the Netflix documentary,
watch it.
Yeah, state-sponsored doping scandal resulted in Russia being ousted and then re-entered underneath what was it called? The Russian
with no flag.
The Russian Olympic team or committee.
It's
Russian
insane.
Olympic. The episode side note, but related directly to the episode we just did today on Pablo Torre Finds Out, is about how the most corrupt sport is fencing, and fencing has been corrupted by a Russian oligarch in the present tense. One of the 100
Did they do steroids? I didn't watch your episode yet.
It's about a refereeing crisis in which half of the top 20 referees in the world, allegedly, in saber fencing have been corrupted and flip matches according to bribery and favors and geopolitical incentives, which is all to say that this stuff is so real right now to lots of other places that when it trickles into America, it's kind of like, whoa.
I mean, Michael Phelps spoke to Congress about the doping
in China.
Yeah, the Chinese doping scandal with their swimmers. So it's something that matters to a lot of different countries. But I guess this is an admission that I don't have to make, but I guess I assume that other people had this feeling also. But I think it kind of depends on what you identify as first. But when I was a kid and I was watching the Olympics, I was rooting for the black folk. If America didn't have a black dude, I was rooting for the black dude. And it wasn't like 6, 7, 8 years old. I remember at that age watching sports and was like, hey, root for the black dude.
Were you the exact age of Cool Runnings of the Jamaican bobsled team?
The movie?
Not the actual, am I off on years? Is that really a long time ago?
In David's defense, this was, I don't know when it happened in reality, but certainly the movie was 93, and I was 8 at the time.
I mean, this does tie into the Cooper Flagg conversation, and it is about identity, and it is about some level of personal pride, and you see yourself in the athletes that are out there. And as we watched, the Euros specifically is mind-blowing to me.
It's so funny to see this.
Ahead.
No, just because every empire, France, Spain, England, the players that are now the stars of those teams are the colonized products of empire. And it's just funny that you can, anyway, it's very complicated for that reason. There are lots of teams, by the way. The Philippines World Cup women's soccer team was assembled basically in America because there weren't enough good, native Filipino women. And so they assembled all of these part Filipina people from around the world, and it got to be a successful experiment. And then, most recently this year, disbanded because it wasn't actually enough of the country in the minds of the people in the country. Yeah. Because this is the dynamic of is this really us? Is the question, I think, underneath all of it.
I mean, it's interesting to me that they disbanded it because there was some pushback. Because my assumption is, if you're winning, you don't care.
I was furious.
Yeah, most people are well, they can represent us as long as they make their penalties. As soon as they miss them penalties, they are all the slurs, right?
Because we're all just after the win. It doesn't really matter. The World Baseball Classic, they put the Team Israel together. If you're anywhere Jewish, anywhere, or you can be on the Italian team if you've gone to Carbone. You can be on Team at Italy for the World Baseball Classic. And so it's done for the purpose of putting the best team possible together, which I think is how it should always be.
Also, why does Puerto Rico have a team? I mean,
Let me get Tony Perez on the phone and see if he has a view of that.
Tony Perez is Cuban.
He would not view himself that way. I think I've asked Tony that. I think he would say he's Puerto Rican.
Carbone is an Italian restaurant that we went to dinner at last night, and it is like a caricature. So it's delicious. It's incredible. When I go to New York, I go there all the time. I've been with Charlie. I go with my wife, go by myself, and we went last night to the Carbone in Miami. The food is delicious. But when you walk in, they got like a playlist, and it's just like 3 songs on repeat that were in Goodfellas. It's outstanding.
I thought I was going to get whacked, actually. I had not been there in Miami, and I didn't like how I felt. I felt like I needed to sit, so I chose, if you'll notice, where I sat at the table.
So David will enter a restaurant, not just the one that is playing Mafia cosplay, and he will choose the seat that is most defended if he were to suffer an assassination attempt.
It's just, I need the ability to escape. I need the ability. I can't.
It's not a joke.
No, this is.
Me and David are the same person on a lot of fronts, except a lot of fronts.
Who's coming after you? I mean, like, who do we think is going to murder?
Did you listen to the show yesterday?
Yeah. Of all the people at the dinner, I would say most killable.
Most killable.
This is a Greg Cody move too. Of like, he always likes. I don't know if it's like escape, but it's like I need to see. He always wants to have his back. Like he wants to be facing the entrance. So like wherever the front door is, I need to be looking that way.
Yeah.
So me and my family, what we do is we try to get there first, so he has only the seat not facing. That's like
you don't show him the respect.
No, we do. It's like a fun game to like.
Do.
It's a fun game to go to the seats, have him be like, "Oh, can I?" And then we make him feel bad. It's just a fun game.
I don't worry about being actually assassinated.
Oh.
I feel trapped all the time in my life. And I like the ability to see everything that's happening so I can see all escape routes and I can plan what can be my next move. So like sitting inside a booth, like at a coffee shop where there's a 4-person booth, you'd never see me on the inside of that booth. How do you get out?
So you're an aisle seat guy? You're a private jet guy.
Do I have priority check-in?
No, you're an aisle seat guy?
Yes.
He said
if I'm flying with somebody, I'll sit on the window.
You're a PJ bro?
He also is, yes.
I don't know what you mean.
Flying private. PJ.
No.
Why is so much judgment on the PJ?
He's worried about the carbon footprint.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, good. Glad we cleared that up.
Problems from cows than private jets.
I have a question for you guys about
Sounds
the
like
Olympics.
a real PJ guy statement, but we move on.
So, did you guys see that the Olympics, like I guess in like the athlete village or whatever, they weren't air conditioned because they were worried about the emissions? And then Team USA is like, nah, we're gonna take our own AC units anyways.
Smart.
Yeah.
I think so that feels like something that is like performative, like
it's a Europe thing. There's not a lot of air conditioning in Europe.
What's the deal with what's the deal?
They don't care.
They do not care.
They keep the
about
windows
air
open. There are people in Europe that if they have air, they put it on just at night for a few hours, but they're happy at 81, 82 Fahrenheit.
My father-in-law must be from Europe.
Can I?
Man, you go over that house. It's just I always give my wife the look. Turn that thing down.
Is he from Serbia?
You.
The Balkans.
Howdy, y'all, it's Mike, and since the dawn of mankind, we've cooked our food over an open flame and debated the best way to grill. One thing that is not up for debate, grilling and beer always go together. Even I know that, and I'm not the manliest American type, but I know that if I'm grilling out there, I need a Miller Lite in my hand. Why? Because Miller Lite keeps it simple, undebatable quality, and it tastes as great as my barbecue. It's a beer that strips away everything that I don't need and holds on to what matters most. The light beer with the most taste. Less filling and only 96 calories. Nothing says summer like a Miller Lite. It's the original light beer since 1975 and a perfect companion for all grill masters or wannabe grill masters across this great land. With a Miller Lite in your hand, grilling doesn't just taste great, tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces.